guaranteed third place, right, Clay?
Yeah, absolutely. If you were the fastest dungeon running team, then you are automatically guaranteed first place. I'm sorry, not first place, but third place. That would have been nice. But you're automatically guaranteed. And even though this may be the first one, hopefully it's the first of many to come in the future.
Well, maybe we need to set up a Summoners War Anonymous hotline or something like that, as many hours as some of these guys are putting in. Let's talk about both of you. You've got some experience playing Summoners War. Obviously, Childish, I know you run an educational, multiple channels of educational content for Summoners War out there. How many hours a week would you say, independent of simply casting, are you spending playing the game itself and farming these runes and building up the experience?
If I told you honestly there, my wife who's watching right now is not going to be too happy, so I might want to have to hold that back on. But no, in all honesty here, I probably spend anywhere from 3 to 6 hours a day. I was very, very fortunate to have the birth of my son Roman about a year and a half ago, so that has kind of set back the time that I want to go ahead and play here, just trying to focus on family first. But ultimately, I really enjoy this game, and so I still try to squeeze in a little bit of that side, gameplay, right, a little bit of auto mode. That's what I like about this game, Summoners War here. Even though there is that aspect of the grind, at least we have the opportunity to auto through some of those dungeon runs so that we can collect the runes that we need for this module so we can do that high-end content.
I feel like, Clay, the arrival of Roman allowed Childish to become more proficient in one-handed Summoners War play. You got the baby in one hand, you got the mobile in the other. What about you? How many hours a week are you spending in order to kind of keep up and be at that top echelon?
Yeah, so for me, unfortunately, I don't have the opportunity to make Summoners War my full-time job. So I actually have a separate full-time job that I go to, which is kind of more of a desk job, so I do tend to keep my phone on me, maybe sometimes under the keyboard, but
You're hoping your boss isn't watching right now, right?
No, he's perfectly fine, but yeah, so I just kind of farm throughout the day, and that could be upwards of 8 hours just nonstop replaying the dungeons over and over. But like I said, that's the beauty of Summoners War, is that it's competitive, but it's casual enough to where you don't have to necessarily spend time sitting with your face in front of the phone to actually get ahead in the game, and that's kind of just how I live by.
Yeah, some measure of your acceleration is something that you can achieve passively as opposed to actively, which is certainly important given the amount of time that it really takes to get yourself up in the ranks. And I think for me, one of the most fascinating things is, as a result of that reality, you enable adults who maybe have careers and jobs and wouldn't otherwise be able to pour the amount of time that you need in order to commit to becoming a good player, in this format, the chance to get in there and compete with people who maybe have a little bit more free time, who are even doing it professionally, who are casters, who maybe even focus exclusively on Summoners War.
Definitely, yeah. When I originally got started with regards to gaming and other stuff, I really focused on, I definitely like that aspect of the PC type of games. I got really focused on that. With regards to the mobile industry, kind of growing with regards to games and Summoners War here, having that aspect of being able to play on the side and still manage everything that they need to do really has made it an amazing opportunity these past 3 years playing.
No doubt about it. And with all of that said, we are ready to send it down for the call with the semifinal. Let's bring these two players out. The first of them, he is the stone cold, emotionless, intimidating force they call Hua.
He's back up at it again.
My man Fwa, here we go, representing the Epic Fail community. It's good to see you once again back up there, Fwa. Let's do your thing.
Out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, he moved to the U.S. from Thailand at the age of 7. And he's looking to tattoo an L onto the man that he's facing as he does tattoo art on the side. And who is he facing? None other than the U.S. Air Force veteran who goes by Koopa Troopa.
There he is, getting his jog in. He knows what he has to face here. Definitely having that positive aspect. I like what I see here. Let's see what they're going to go ahead and do. Showing a good sense of sportsmanship with that handshake. I like it. We're all good friends.
No doubt about it. Koopa served in Kuwait, part of that Gangstars crew. And a little bit less experienced than the rest of the guys in this field, but it certainly hasn't affected him as he finds himself in the semifinals against a man who is widely considered one of the best, if not the best, Summoners War players.
Control effect, whether it stuns, freezes, or sleeps. Considering that Koopa Troopa has some pretty key units as going to provide immunity to hold back and resist those stuns and whatnot, I definitely feel like he will be bringing something really new to this first round.
Well, only time will tell, as that very first draft is going to set a little bit of the tone for the opponent.
All right, Fwa.
And how much do you think either of these guys are going to look to counter the very first selection as opposed to maybe put the pressure back on their opponent by not countering at all and setting their own pace and dictating their own tone for what the match is going to be?
Well, it'll be interesting here. With regards to that first pick here, I'm curious to see what it goes at. We can't decide if they're going to counter pick or not. That first pick is going to kind of set the tone when it comes to these compositions here.
And there it is from Koopa.
Yep, Koopa locking it down. He wants to let Fwa know that he is going to get that first turn and try to get that immunity if you don't ban the monster here. Fwa's first round of picks, he's going to lock down Gemini and Molong here. And now we got Koopa Troopa trying to decide. He got about 24 seconds to see what he's going to do to counter what he sees currently, Clay.
I'll tell you what, though, I love that pick from Fwa. Anytime you do double buff strippers like Gemini and the Molong that you see there on Fwa's end against a first pick Wusa from Koopa Troopa, it puts all the pressure, kind of like Ollie was saying earlier, back on a Koopa Troopa to make a decision whether he wants to either continue to bring another immunity buff or to just try to outspeed and take it from there. However, Fwa is one that is extremely hard to outspeed with his rune quality. It's going to be tough, even with that Gemini there and Ganymede. They have the speed leader plus the lockdown from Ganymede, so we'll see what happens.
You can definitely tell that they're trying to do work here, making sure that they provide a backup unit if the other opponent decides to ban it. Gemini and Molong, as Claytano said, is going to be providing some beneficial effect removers, and then as well as Koopa here, he's bringing 2 units to provide some additional stuns here. Okeanos and Frigate here, and let's not count out Ciara here. That bomb, if landed with no immunity on the monsters here, can do some good damage, ignoring defense here, and also land a stun if they don't resist.
Does Koopa just have to ban Ganymede at this point, or no?
So judging by the monsters that are up there right now, it is actually just going to be a speed match. Whoever gets the first turn, more than likely is going to be the one that wins the match.
And we just cut away from it, but we're looking to see who he ended up banning.
Koopa did actually go ahead and ban Vanessa, and then Fwa banned the Frigate on Koopa Troopa's side. So it will be Wusa, Ciara on Koopa Troopa's side that will still be available for him to use.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of small talk there.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Showing a little sign there, a smile is something we haven't seen yet from Fwa here, but I'm good. I'm definitely excited to see what he's doing here. I guess he wanted to really have Vanessa out there, but it was banned here. Let's see what happens.
Coming out of this first turn, and Koopa actually is able to get the first turn there with Wusa, which is extremely surprising. Now he has a chance to stun all of the other monsters with the exception of Zeros there with the immunity buff.
Yeah, it looks like now Fwa Zyrus is up here Zyros is going to be held back here. Even though he has that great AoE skill here, he's not going to be able to reset the monsters because Wusa has his wish of immortality and provided that immunity for 3 turns here.
Yeah, Koopa's actually in a really good position, able to decrease the cooltime for the Molong there, and then now has a bomb up ready on Sierra.
Wow, the first time we've seen it, a quit on the match here. I can't even believe it.